evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 27. This is the Xbox tier, and we head to round number 10 in Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's play host to the title decider 3 times, 2 by Lewis Hamilton and 1 by John Surtees. And tonight, we could see CRG Lut take the title if he gets a certain position and Smasher scores lower than him. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual, we got Ben. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right tonight, Jess. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm very, very excited about this track. Mexico has hosted the Grand Prix for quite a long time, but it's taken a little bit of a break. It's held 20 times since 1963, most recently returned to the F1 calendar in 2015 after a 20-year absence. So, the crucial thing tonight, we're going to go through this straight away so you guys are aware, but I think we'll show this graphic quite a lot tonight so you guys are aware. CRG Luck will become the first PSGL champion on the Xbox side. If he finishes first, Smasher needs to finish, and if Smasher finishes 5th or lower with the fastest lap, or if he finishes 2nd with Smasher finishing 8th or lower, 3rd, 10th or lower, or Lut finishes 4th with Smasher finishing 11th or lower, basically out of the point. So if Lut finishes 5th or lower, then he doesn't have a shot of winning the title today. So it's all to play for here tonight. We had some predictions last week that Luck could possibly take it tonight, but we still got 3 more rounds to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah, certainly so. With a quite a short calendar we have here in XPGL, it's kind of sometimes it benefits the drivers who are very consistent over the course of the season, and that's exactly what we've seen from Lot. Not only have we seen outright pace, but we've also seen brilliant consistency, and he'd be a well-deserving champion if he can crown it today. Maybe next week, maybe the week after that, who really knows? If it goes all the way to the final round, that'd be absolutely brilliant, but not many leagues have seen it go to the final round at the moment, and I don't think that's going to be the case today either.
I'm predicting that I don't think it's going to go to the final round either. I don't think it's going to go to tonight. I think it's going to be going on to the bitter death, because we've seen Smash's form last week. He took another win in USA, which was a pretty good race, I have to say. The gap now is dropped down quite considerably. CRG Lut 95 points, CRG Smasher 69 points, Brown on 48 points, and I did say on stream that he was still in the championship, but I think there's no way that even if he does get a good result tonight, Lut and Smasher both will have to have dismal performances in order for that to happen. So technically, Brown is out of the running. Felipe 4th on 46, Sam 5th on 44, Peroni 6th on 37, Octez 7th in 36 points, Lefted 8th on 34, Jakey B 9th on 33, Sparks 10th with 32. Now Sparks has been a very naughty boy. He's got a qualifying ban, so he won't be taking part in qualifying, and we saw in the lobby though. So I wonder where he is. But Tebow in 11th on 31 points, Dominic 12th, 24, Placky 13th on 20. Then we got Jam Pancake and Clenzo 14th and 15th. Constructors, Mercedes, 143 points. They're leading over Red Bull, 105. Then we got AlphaTauri 3rd, Haas 4th, McLaren 5th, Alfa Romeo 6th, Williams 7th, Ferrari 8th, Racing Point 9th, and Renault in 10th. So let's go straight to the grid, Ben. And we only have 17 drivers, and it's looking quite overcast at the moment, quite dark.
I was genuinely quite worried at first when I saw an absolute mass conglomerate of cars shoot out the pit lane, that it was going one of those sessions where it rains immediately after the first couple of minutes. Thankfully, that hasn't happened. We already have a Smasher. Bassey's on a 12.7, which I had to look twice at originally because it shot the hell out of me. But Brown now entering into the final sector now. He has got purple. Degu has retired on the racetrack. I'm not entirely sure where that is, but that is him out of the session now. Oh, he's got it in final corner, actually. He's got into the wall. That's
not good.
Not a usual crashing out place. Brown up to the line. 112.829. Just 99 one-thousandths of a second behind Smasher there.
Yeah, not too far behind as well. Even though Brown is not in the fight, he still could take the constructors to help with Lutz at any points he gets. It's possible. A bit of a shame for Alex Degu, actually, because he's reserving tonight for the first time, and I'm gutted that he hasn't been able to set a qualifying lap as well. We also got Dark Killer, who is also reserved tonight, filling in for one of the McLarens. I'm trying to think which McLaren it is. It's not Sam because he is here, but it's the other one. And we also have someone that is making his debut to PSGL, well-known face to the Xbox community, I have to say. TRL Martin, who's filling in for Jam Pancakes as well. So great to have him on board, and it's nice to see familiar names you recognise make their name to one of the top leads in the Xbox community.
Things I wouldn't have called really at the start of the year. TRL Martin racing in XBGL. It's really good to have him here. It's really nice to be able to commentate over him again because it has been a while since I've seen him around. He has been doing another league quite a lot of the year, but for a man who likes to focus on one league at a time, it's quite nice that he's chosen XBGL to come and do some racing in. So, I know on the actual session so far, it seems like a lot of drivers are going for the 4-run strategy, and a lot of them seem to be going on the soft tyres. Now, this is one of those tracks where a 2-stop is plausible. So soft, medium or hard, medium to hard tends to be the two ones that most people will go with. But I can see the most likely strategy being the soft, medium, just because it is the most reliable.
Yeah, it's one of the other tracks where a 2-stop could be viable. It's not on this calendar, it's also Canada, and potentially Abu Dhabi next week could be a viable 2-stop strategy as well. So we should be in for some cracking races there as well. And I tried doing a soft to hard around here, and even hard to soft. It's quite hard. The hards can die pretty quickly, and even if you do the hard to soft strategy, that is exactly the same. So yes, if they do the 2-stops, I wouldn't be surprised, and some of these guys will probably be relying on a safety car. Now Lutz coming across the line to start his lap, so is Clenzo as well. It's a big day of him, of course, but he knows that he doesn't need to win the title here if he wants to keep his hopes, because he still has a few more chances. Smash, who ideally has one more chance, if he doesn't deliver tonight, then he's going to be in trouble, as Lut has got the Williams for company right behind him as well, and I think Lut would ideally want to win, because that would help his chances up massively. But we do know Smash's form has definitely improved since the start, well, pretty much since, I think, the middle half of the season. He had a P2 in Australia, but then his form started shaking. He had a P7, well, Smash had a P7 in Great Britain, a P4 in Belgium. He didn't score any points in France. He got DNF in Monaco and 10th in Italy. Then after that, he's been getting pretty much either a P1 or a P2, and that was similar to what Lutz's season was as well. But looking at podiums, it looks like Lutz got more podiums, so that might help Lut in a way, but it's still not over for Smash's fight. I think for some of us, I'm almost certain that we want to take this fight for a long time, but we're going to go on board with Lutz again. He's just come across the line in third position with a 1:12.8, so Smasher definitely sensing the benchmark, and he's invalidated. So yeah, commentator's curse there.
As usual, they're just with her phenomenal commentator's curse. Yeah, so the Bank Tower Smasher has managed to maintain for the first half of the session. Lot there with an 8.67. Lot actually did purple the middle sector and was very strong in the first. Actually, matched Smasher pretty much to the 1,000th. It was the last sector where Lot seemed to struggle a little bit. Watching his lap, he turned in a little bit too late for the final corner, got on the exit curb, lost a bit of traction. Unfortunately, that is about a 10th if you made that mistake. So for Lot, that was decent. Running ball now with Shazoo Felipe in the Williams. He's looked so good so far on this lap. He's done a 54.1 in the middle sector. A very strong middle there for the Brazilian, who has been up and down this season when it comes to his results. The King of Italy, as he's been known around the community, he's actually undefeated in Italy in league racing, which I think is quite mental when you really think about it. Up to the line he comes now and goes fastest. 1 minute 12.600. Very good lap time there from him.
I kind of wish I get positive jinx like that, because as soon as you talked positive about him, he sets a very good lap, which is 2/10 clear of Smasher's time there as well. And Felipe got a podium last week as well. He's looking to add to that as well and show that he's a force to be reckoned with potentially next season. Got to go fast. Invalidated his lap. Dark Killer is on the medium tyres as well, and I have to say penalties is going to be crucial. The less penalties you get, if not at all, the higher that you're going to climb on the grid. And Dark Killer, I think, has fallen victim to the S's cut there, which I fell and fouled to quite a few times in league racing around here as well. I think the top 10 have set lap times at the moment, so that's proof that that has happened.
Yeah, so Daryl Martin in the Haas, he's looked fairly okay so far on this lap. I'm not going to describe it as shaky, but I think that's honestly the best way of putting it. Up to the line now, 13.105 goes P5. But from watching his whole last sector, and most of the middle sector as well, he just seemed to lack confidence. When watching comparing Felipe and Martin's lap, Felipe really attacked every single corner on that lap. Martin, it was like he was petrified to. Almost like he had fear of invalidating. Whether that being maybe potentially rust or something like that, I don't know, but he did not want to go for it. Rossi has now joined the session. He is now in here. He said in the chat he was going to join in mid-quali, so people wondering that, don't worry, this isn't some random stranger. Matthew Rees, which won the ball, just invalidated, which is a shame him out of turn 3. But with 6.5 minutes to go, Felipe seems to be the favourite at the moment.
Yep, he does as well, but never say never about the other drivers as well, as pretty much the only driver that was on the mediums has gone into the pit again. So I wonder if these guys need to go out as soon as they can to avoid the maybe threat of rain that's coming on. Because we saw that in Q1 in the PC side as well, which affected a lot of people's running. So this is a track where it's just, if you mess up your lap, then you're going to be in deep trouble, as somehow Flying Rosie set to 2 is a 2:15, and that's not the case. It's probably just the game telling Porcupine, but he's invalidated anyway, so we're not going to follow him, as Risa in the Alfa Romeo has also invalidated. If anyone on a lap that hasn't invalidated, Perondi is on a lap, who's just started one actually in the Alfa Tauri. Remember, he took pole, I believe, was in Monza, but he hasn't converted it to a win yet. But again, never say never, of course, but there's still time for a lot of these drivers to get pole position and just maybe get some glory points if you want to impress the big bosses ready for next season, because next season is not too far around the corner. Towards the end of March is where it's going to be, and the calendar is going to be announced this coming weekend. I'm just trying to look at the date. I believe it's the 21st, and I need to check what date is that. I believe that's a Sunday. Yes, it is a Sunday. That's when the calendar is going to be announced for next season. I really do hope there's some good tracks on there. But one thing we do know, Baku's going to be on it because it has been raced in PSGL on this game cycle. So I like commentating on Baku, but I hate racing it. So should be fun, to say the least.
Complete opposite for me.
Yeah, you like driving, but you hate commentating it. Anyway, yeah. Flying Rosie just heads through sector 2, doesn't cut it, which is good news, which means he's going to go through into the stadium section. For those of you that don't know, I think there was a few alteration changes to this part of the circuit due to safety reasons, but it just looks beautiful now, and it's hosted many different artists here as well, as Flying Rosie comes across the line. P12 for him, a 1:13.8 for him, and that only leaves 4 people that are in the pits yet to set a lap time. Clenzo's just about to start his lap. Everybody is, I think, going to do their final few runs, and Sam, who has been on the podium streak for quite a bit, has invalidated as well. So unless he can save his ERS like mad, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. As Smasher goes fastest again. Last week's race winner, 1:12.5. Is exactly what he wanted if he wants to keep his title hopes alive.
Yeah, solid lap there from Smasher goes fastest there. Very, very good time. But that, I believe, will be the end of his session. I do not believe he's going to be able to go around and get another lap in. He might not be able to. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that might be the end of his session. Clenzo did a very good first sector and then invalidated. Some random yobbers joined, which is not at all helpful.
Yeah, I hope he leaves, please.
Yes. Dear Mr. Random Person, please desist from the lobby.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's what I was saying. Apologies if I sound a bit hoarse in my throat. I've not been very well the last couple of days, so if I don't sound the greatest, then I apologise. So current people on laps right now, Days Ramos and Crescito are both starting a lap now. Crescito fires it into turn 1. He's had a really rough few races as Crescito. Just across the board, really. A lot of leagues really have not been seeing that killer fire we've seen from him in the last couple of games, but does a decent first sector, charging now into the chicane, be able to look up on the inside line. Third gear short shift up to fourth. That's a third. Of course, we've seen Gerhard Berger have a big accident here before. Goes a little bit wide, gets right onto the curb. Decent exit now. This beautiful S section. And he managed.
So it's not just me.
The problem is with that corner is, just watching there with Cosito, I saw the exact thing. You can take it in two ways. You can either downshift to fifth, but you lose a lot, but you got a high chance of spinning, or you take it as sixth, and you've got a chance of just turning in too early because you don't have the high revs to be able to swing the back end round. And that's something to Cosito. His revs wasn't high enough. It was simple as that. But Rhombus, we're going to take over from him now in the Renault into the final sector. Now a little bit loose and found a couple of corners. I've not been able to see what his sectors are like, but from watching the actual lap itself, it seems fairly smooth. Up to the line, is it a 12? No, but it is P9, the 113.143. So that's maybe pole position for the reverse grid slot.
Yeah,
reverse grid.
Well, sprint
reverse
race.
strategy.
Yeah, the alternate. Maybe I call the alternate strategy pole position, because there's probably a few people that may improve on their lap times. As Lefty, one of the reserves tonight, is going out for his final lap. That's a bit late, I have to say, because I think an out lap around Mexico is longer than 1 minute 30. So he's got to get a move on, I have to say, unless he could cut corners, which I think you are allowed to do on your out lap. Smasher it might be a timing glitch, as I think a lot of people on their out lap. So yeah, just ignore me on that.
Yeah, the people actually on laps are Felipe Brown, not invalidated his lap. Felipe is actually just now had to back off his. Brown has done a very decent first and middle sector, and as I say, that invalidates.
Oh. Well, he had time to go out again if he wanted to.
Yeah. Well, he's literally just going to circle straight around. He doesn't have enough time to be able to build up any sort of ERS, so he's going to have to full on fire it. Not invalidated in the middle sector, so he's firing now. Felipe's having a chill. He's on 100% battery. He's going to go now as well.
Yep.
Everybody taking these slow build-ups. You can't have the tyres anywhere near any sort of heat. Jakey B has only now just come out onto the track, by the way. But his first run of the session, so it'll be interesting to see what he can crack at this. I think it's actually technically a flying lap. Yeah, effectively he's doing a one-shot quali right now for the recently crowned Monday champion.
Indeed. Will he actually get a good result in Mexico here to carry that momentum, of course? His lap, he set a lap, it's a 135.6 for him, but obviously that's not representative for him, and he just wanted to build it up a little bit. So let's see if he can match up to the top guys, maybe the top 10. I would say Jakey B is a very talented guy. Obviously, he was near the front in Monaco and a few other races as well, so we know how talented he is. And the checker flag as Joe Peroni comes across the line. P3 for him. We've got one of the Mercedes drivers, Brown, actually comes across the line in second. His teammate Lutt comes across the line and he invalidates, so he's not going to set another lap time. I think next come across the line is Clenzo. He also invalidates. Then we've got, I think, one of the Williams cars. I'm trying to find out who it is. Felipe could only manage third. It looks like the Smasher's pole position. Maybe untouched here. Got to go fast across the line. He invalidates. We've got a McLaren, which is Dark Killer, I believe. He goes into the pit lane. Now we got an Alpha, who's also in the pits as well. This is not looking good, so I was hoping it was going to be a great finish, but Jakey B comes across the line. He's the last person to set a lap with a 1:13.303, and Smasher doesn't need to set another lap. He could go into the pits, but he's invalidated anyway. So Smasher, once again, is not putting a foot wrong. He's on pole position and with a good shot of winning the race today.
I'm not convinced by that lack of Jakes. I'm not convinced that was true pace at all.
Sandbagging. He was definitely sandbagging.
Well, you don't lose 5/10 in the first sector by accident. Let's put it that way.
No. Or maybe he wanted to slow down on purpose so he could go on a different strategy, not be inside the top 10. Potentially,
yes.
I think that's probably why, but we'll see. We'll probably find out. But we know that Jakey B's lap time around Mexico, as we've seen on Twitter a few times, is a lot faster than 1:13.3. But anyway, let's go through your results. Smasher on pole, boy, just look at the gap between first and second. 23 thousandths, 2 100ths between Smasher and Brown. And we got Felipe in third, Sam in fourth, top four really close. Peroni had a good qualifying in fifth, Lut in sixth. And we got to Go Fast, Martin, Dave Rombers, Clenzo, Crescito. And then we got Jakey B, Matthew Reese, Rosie, Octet, Lefted, Alex Dagu, and then Dark Killer. 3 people did not set any lap times at all in this session, and they're gonna need a miracle in order to have a very good race today.
Yeah, certainly so. But
for some reason, my game's just crashed. Lovely.
I believe you had what happened to me the other week. Right, I will invite you back.
Thank you very much.
I
think I've got the exact same problem to what Lut had. I've now loaded the game and it's stuck on the loading screen, as in the thingy. So I'm gonna have to reset my laptop a little bit, but not my laptop, my Xbox. But it gives me a good chance to talk about the strategy. Like we said, 2-stop strategy for I think the majority of these drivers, and it's gonna be lap 7 to 8 if they're going to go on to the medium tyres for their first stint, and then they're going to be staying on the mediums for 14, 15 laps, which takes them to around about lap 22, which will take them to the final set of mediums, and that will be the end of that. But if they want to go on to the hards, they will have to get on the softs even longer, pit lap 9 to 10, and then go on to the hards lap 20, which will last 26 to 27 laps, so should be interesting there. And who's your money on to win this race at the moment?
At the moment, you know what? I'm in one of those moods where I'm gonna think stupid because it's funny. I'm gonna say race winner here today is going to be Jakey B from 12th.
The alternate strategy. It is worked quite a treat, I have to say, in Mexico quite a few times, actually. And I will need another invite because the invites have not tend to save. But luckily, Smash just sent me one. So thank you, Smasher, who responded to that as well. And whilst we are here, actually, are you in... can you see the tyres right now, or they're on the formation lap?
Yes, I shall provide tyre coverage for a second.
Okay.
So, the entire top 10, Smasher, Brown, Felipe, Sam, Perondi, Lutz, Go Fast, Tierra Martin, Days Rombus, and W. Clenzo, all are on the soft compound tyres. Mediums for Suzuka Cito in P11. Jacob B on the hards, that's why I made the call for Jake. Matthew Reese, Flying Rossi, Sync Oxtez, SLT Lefted, who is currently taking an interesting route for the middle sector. On the medium tyres, and Alex Degu, who I believe is not in the session, though he might be, I'm not sure. It's on the softs and mediums for Dark Killer, as that random yob has rejoined yet again.
And good news, I'm now back in the session. So it's not the first time it's happened this season where the Xbox has decided to go straight to the home screen. But we're back now, and it's a nice sunny day. So a different contrast to what we have seen in our previous sessions, of course, but in Mexico, where it was completely almost dark with a threat of rain, and no threats of rain here by the looks of things, as Smasher is very clear of Brown in the formation lap, so he definitely wants to get it going, but there's quite a few people holding each other up, and that's not going to give the top lot any hope with the tyres, otherwise it's going to get so cold. Luckily, no one has been disqualified yet from their formation lap, so everyone has been behaving themselves, so that's relief. So hopefully we won't have any problems in the starting line. We've got to keep an eye on Daegu though. I think Daegu's in the session because otherwise he'll be ghosted. So
yeah, he is in the session. He is
good. So he must have it must have been a moment that we thought he wasn't in the session, but he was. So yes, anyway, we are about to get started for 36 laps awaiting our drivers, and the 5 red lights will be coming on very, very soon. We got Smasher on pole. Brown is on the left-hand side of your screen. The 5 red lights coming on, hopefully anytime today. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it is lights out, and away we go. Brown's actually got a very good start, but Smasher gets the undercut very nicely. Nut also having a good start too, but he's under pressure from Sam as well, heading towards turn 1. Don't forget, it's a very long run to turn 1, one of the longest on the calendar. The two Mercedes looking like they're going to try and chase down Smasher already as they go around this chicane here as well. Felipe also getting a good run on Brown, going side by side, heading into what is going to be the DRS straight later on in the session. Felipe to the right, both of them trying to leave each other's space as much as possible. Felipe gets the run absolutely perfectly, and he's up into second place. Great start from him. Smasher is already pulling away just a little bit, and so far no major trouble from some of the drivers. I mean, Dave Wombers has dropped down a few positions, and so has Martin, but everybody else has got away cleanly.
Yeah, fairly mundane start, to be honest, apart from Brown and Felipe having a little bit of a ding-dong. The top three definitely seem like the three fastest cars right now. Lott had a decent getaway, but nothing great. He actually burnt up the most of his ERS out of the little battle here. Clenzo down the inside, not an overtaking face. Force has got to go fast off the track. We won't be very happy about that. Big send down the inside. Around Colasito, round the outside. What the words happened there? So Degu is up in a P10. I don't know how he's managed that, but he's one hell of a start there. JKB now has got past Days Rompus up into P.
Oh, yes, Cosito's out of the session.
He's out. I think Cosito was barged into down at the hairpin and has been forced basically into retirement. He is not going to be a very happy man. Left and looks up, clambers into the back of Jake there. Takes off some damage down in P. I don't even know what the position that is.
Timing glitch, so I think we're going to wait for a little bit. Unfortunately, that's the timing glitch we usually get every race, which I think, Cody, you need to fix, please, for at least this game, if not the next game. So it drives us commentators absolutely mad. I think it drives you spectators in the chat mad as well. But we're on lap 2 out of 36, not lap 3. And we're starting to see, I think, the gap starting to form for some of these drivers. Dave Rombus on the back of Alex Dagu, but I know Alex Dagu is going to definitely give Dave Rombus a run for his money, because I know how hard Alex Dagu wants to race. He wants to take as many risks as he possibly can. Now heading towards the stadium section as Alex Dagu has picked up the first penalty. Left it has gone off. Oh, he's dropped positions down into 17th position. But it's a shame that Alex Dagu is the first one to get on the mark with the penalties, which is a shame. But the Delwas is not changing for Dave Rombus and Alex Dagu. I thought they were a lot closer, but they're not. But let's see what Dave Rombus can do heading into turn number 1 then, as Lefty goes into the pits for a change of front wing, as it sounds like. At least he's still going on this race, because you never know what could happen with safety cars or anything, or any VSCs that might happen, because it is common around here. We've seen it in maybe in the other tiers tonight as well. Flying Rosie's picked up a time penalty as well. I assume that's before, I think, turn 1, I think I'm almost certain it was. But there we go. We're starting to see battles really starting to show here, Ben.
Yeah, so certain people are starting to get connected. The entire field right now is in the one big DRS trade, as there is no real surprise there, to be honest. Perondi and Martin were getting a little bit closer to comfort on the first couple of laps, but that seems to have died down. Matthew Reese down in 15th place, picks up a time penalty. I think he might have damage, because that is a lot of understeer on the front end there from himself. But Smasher at the moment looks comfortable out in front, doesn't? Of course, Clean Air coming onto his front wing, and he'll have a decent amount of downfalls compared to Felipe. Fast lap of the race from Smasher. Felipe was 7/1000ths of a second slower on that lap. That was it.
Ooh. So that is important around this track, especially to get the consistency up, especially if you want to do the 2-stop. I wonder if some people inside the top 10 will be going for the 1-stop, but that's going to be very, very hard. So it will be interesting to see the mixture of strategies in this field as well. Obviously, many drivers have done league races in the past around here, so they know what to do. But we know Felipe could definitely give Smasher a run for its money. We've seen it in other leagues as well, as they head towards the start of the S's section, which we'll probably see a lot of people picking up penalties and trying to extend as much as they can. You can get warnings, but you've got to be careful those warnings don't turn into a time penalty as well. Lutt is not that too far behind his teammate. Martin has picked himself a time penalty as well. I know Martin can send things down the outside if he has to, and I think he'll probably do so tonight, but he's not in a position to do so as of yet. We're heading towards lap 5 of this race, and it won't be that long before the soft runners will maybe go onto the medium tyres, if they do.
Yeah, so mine seems quite, I don't know how to really describe it.
Playing it safe?
A bit tame. Yeah, a bit tame, playing it safe. I feel like he might be one of the people who might attempt the soft hard. I doubt it'll work. It's just too risky in my eyes, but it is plausible that somebody will attempt it. Smasher has now broke DRS to Felipe. I don't know if Felipe had a generally poor lap or Smash just absolutely went for it. I don't know. But that now means that Felipe is now the head of the train. Brown and Lutz, who, to be fair, Lutz only just holding on to the back of his teammate. McCabe, Sam, and then Perondi with Martin just behind him. The Smasher breaking that DRS early allows him then to run his own race out in front without having to worry about the drivers behind, and this could be fairly crucial there for the Red Bull driver.
Yes, it could. A quick reminder on the permutations as well. Basically, Smasher has got to finish 4th or higher if he wants to keep his hopes alive, but all Smasher's goal line as well is how Lutz finishes. Obviously, Lutz will need to finish lower than him if he ideally wants to win the title today. So, for example, Lutz is currently in 4th position. And if he's 4th position, Smasher will need to actually finish in the points. So, this fight will still go on to Abu Dhabi, I believe, is the next track, which I think is good news at the moment. But I know Lutz will want to get a podium, and I'm almost certain Brown will probably do everything he can to help his teammate with that fight, because there's no way he wants to not help his teammate. I'm almost certain Sam's also on the back of this train as well. He's out of DRS range. Nobody insanely close apart from Brown and Felipe as well. This DRS train can go very quickly, but that may mean less overtakes, which may turn into a bit of a possession if for some parts of the race. But it's gonna rely on people making some bold decisions, I think.
Yeah, certainly so. Felipe is getting a little bit closer to that DRS of Smasher, but I don't think he's going to pull anything off right now. A little bit of a twitch in the middle sector as well. Crucially, though, a lot of DRS is being burned right now from some people. So Perondi and Felipe, the two Brazilians, are absolutely caning their DRS right now. But then you got guys like Lutz in P4 with 70%. Even Smasher right in front is in the 40s. That's really strong right now for some of these guys.
Yeah, it is. I have to say, it's better than what I could do, but that's why I made the commentators. Sam goes in into the pits. That's an early pit stop for him. Stop. So that is an undercut. Yep, that is an undercut, because usually you would expect to pit around about, I would say, lap 7. So, yep, it is the undercut for the 2-start strategy. So the other guys will probably have to respond. Smasher, Felipe, Brown, Lutz, and Peroni will have to pit next lap. But the disadvantage of the two Mercedes, however, they can't double stack, so one of them will have to stay out. I have a feeling if I was a Mercedes boys, I will let Lutz pit and Brown will have to sacrifice himself, because you can't really sacrifice Lutz, who is in a championship hunt at the moment, who's looking the favourite to win it potentially either tonight, which is probably looking unlikely at the moment, or next week or the week after. After this round, we'll have 2 more rounds to go, believe it or not. Time does fly by when you're having fun, of course. But, yeah, this is going to be, I wonder if these guys at the front will know about Sam's pit stop. We're just going to watch Smasher now as he heads towards the final corner. A little bit of a slide there. I think a few people might be struggling on those tyres. And Smasher does stay out, though, which is a bit of a shock. So, but Brown is in. So, Brown is, I thought Brown was going to stay out for his teammate, but Brown does go in, so that's a bit of a shock for me. But he goes on the mediums. Peroni comes in as well, as does a few more other people onto the medium compound of tyres as well. We'll have to wait and see where Brown will come out, because he doesn't want to get into a lot of traffic. Neither does Peroni. I think he has clear air anyway. Actually, he has Sam for company. So Brown's stop he did just now really hindered Sam's progress, I think, in 13th on the track at the moment. But we'll see what happens when the front lot pit.
Well, a little bit of a problem there for Brown. He literally just picked up a penalty as he come out on those tyres. Maybe not adjust it. Maybe not temperature yet. Got a little bit of a sliding out the chicane. Who knows? But that will be fairly crucial later on in this race. Smash now up to 1.8, but yeah, as you said with Sam, it does kind of hinder his progress a little bit as he'll now have a car in front of him, so a bit of dirty air to play with. However, both of these cars have got to absolutely lamp it, because if they can pull the undercut off now on Felipe Lot, I doubt Smasher, unless they have like an absolute worldie of a lap, but...
Smash is in. Smash is in
so
the
that's
pits.
race leader. Race leader into the pits, CLG Smasher in, Felipe follows in, Martin stays out, and Lot comes in as well.
Yep, so as expected, the front lot will be going into the pits now. The stewards had a briefing with the drivers on the Discord as well, and they've been told about how to enter the pit lane. But we'll talk about that in a minute as Smasher comes out, I think, comfortably ahead of pretty much, or it may be closer than I thought, actually, between Smasher and Brown. Brown has jumped Felipe, and so has Sam as well. So Felipe didn't have the best of strategies there as well, but I have to say the most impressive was Brown with that undercut. That worked for dreams, and so did Sam up in a net P3 at the moment. He could be on course to be getting another podium in a row. I'm losing track on how many podiums he's got in a row so far. I think he's missed a consistent podium sitter at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment he's been absolutely phenomenal. Sam with his consistency, but big shame for Felipe dropping from where what could have been a potentially P1 if he'd come into the pits. Now down into P10, picked up a warning there as well, going through the chicane, look just behind. But it's nice to see now the top 5 back in one big train, and with Brown up in the P2, this is actually good for Lot, because if Brown can clear Smasher, that's a big hand for Lot.
Yep, it is as well, because don't forget, Lot needs to do his best to help himself, and hope that Smasher doesn't have anything to do with it at the moment. But we've still got a long way to go of this race. We are on lap 10, and when we head to lap 11, we will have potentially 26. Well, we will have 26 laps to go after the end of this lap. Martin will probably have to come in very soon, and I have a feeling what you said is true, Ben. I think Martin's going for softer halves, because otherwise there's no way he will be staying out this long, and I think Jakey B is probably doing what the opposite to what Martin is doing, I think, doing the hard to soft strategy. So watch out for these two during the race and see if they can pull the strategy of dreams. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's
originally I thought it... Oh! And Smasher got a legal overtake. Smasher got a legal overtake on him. He checks up Brown. There wasn't any contact. But now Sam's in the equation. Oxes is going to have to move out of his teammate's way, or else there could be some serious problems. He does go down the inside, Smasher. Oxes cuts straight across the front wing of the Mercedes with a big, strong block. That could have been costly. Oxes is not moving out of the way. Contact. Sam catches the back of Brown. Don Olympics on time on him, but nobody cares about that. He comes into the pit lane and retires. He's solid off. Big slide for Oxtes. But massive hand dealt in the way of Smasher there.
I think he just had a little bit of a slide there as well, and Martin's come into the pits, and I thought he was going to do the one stop. No, he's not. He's doing the two stop. So Martin has proven ourselves wrong there as he heads into P12 on track. Meanwhile, there's a Mercedes that's spun. That is Brown, I believe. Yeah, that's Brown.
Lots had to go off track.
So what is going on?
I think there has been contact between McKay. I wasn't looking. I was watching Martin come out of the pit lane. Same. I believe there has been contact between Brown and Sam, from what I can guess, because Sam's fallen back behind. Sam's still behind Oxtes. Lot is now got thrown up in a P2, and Felipe's not getting anything. But I'm not entirely sure what's happened. Sam down the side. Oxtes doesn't fight it.
No.
I'm really confused right now, to be honest with you. Oxes is not exactly moving out of Felipe's way. I'll have to go down the inside. Oxes has got his ERS towed up. He's I
think he's helping his teammate out.
Oh, clever! Oh! And Oxes turns Felipe. I almost said Syra. Oh dear!
That is not what you want to do, Octes, I'm afraid. And Felipe.
He's got the wall as well.
Yes, I think Felipe and both Octes will have to go into the pits. It's very important that they don't cut the line heading into the pits. They must. I'm trying to find out where it was said because they said it in the steward's briefing. But yes, Octes and Felipe both have front wing changes. So Yeah, few incidents happening with a short space of time. It's not Australia, for goodness sake. This is Mexico. But let's hope they can have a much cleaner rest of the race, because otherwise these drivers are going to be in huge trouble as they're on lap 12 now, as I think Smasher has managed to increase his gap just a little bit more, but he can't afford any more spins, because I have a feeling he may have picked up a warning earlier on as well, so he may not be that far off getting a penalty. And we do know that any one of these guys can get penalties around here. It's not,
well,
you know.
I'm just going to add something onto the incidents column that we saw over the last couple of laps. Clenzo made a, shall we say, interesting move on Perondi down at the tyre right hander. He completely sent it on the Brazilian, and Perondi was very clearly pushed off the track. I'm not accusing anything, whether that was just a genuine mistake or what, but it was certainly aggressive, to put it in a small way.
Well, it's not up to us, of course. It will be up to the stewards, and Peroni's actually running out of airs as well. That's allowing Martin to go back on the frame. Could we see Martin pull off a big gamble here as we head towards the DRS? Martin has got a yellow warning light on his dashboard with fuel, so he's got to save some fuel, otherwise he's going to be in trouble. Martin tries to go to the left, but Peroni actually defends that quite nicely there, and he stays in 8th position, and Clenzo, I think, is going to be under a lot of pressure as well, because we have two cars chasing him, Peroni and Martin, and maybe got to go faster if these guys do not get a move on. These guys definitely got to go fast, I won't say that again, as Flying Rosie's also on the back of Matthew Reese, two of the medium runners who have yet to make their first stops. They'll be probably doing medium soft by the way this is looking, so they'll be stretching those mediums for quite a bit of this race, and they want to be ahead of each other, that's for sure. They are fighting for position, and 7 drivers have got penalties so far, so pretty much almost half the grid have got penalties. That's not good if you want to keep it clean, obviously. But here comes Flying Rosie then, heading towards turn 1. He's got a good run, but not quite close enough, so I'm guessing he's going to wait until the next DRS straight, and that's what he's going to have to do.
So I'm watching this from just behind these guys when it's with Smasher. Now Smasher realistically has to get in front of Jake before Jake comes down to pit road. I see that happening, however, is the question. Has got to go fast. It appears to have had an issue in the racing point, and that is unfortunately, that might be his race done. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for something like that, that's probably game. But Matthew Reese now picks up a. I'm not dumb in saying this, but that's really clouding over.
Yes. Very quickly.
Could the reason Jake had gone on hard be that there's rain?
If he has done that because of that, then he's timed that absolutely perfectly. Well, hopefully he has.
If he ends up winning this race, I swear to God, I know nothing about the weather.
Yeah, I know nothing about the weather as well. Smash has got to get past the traffic very quickly then into turn 1, but I do know Flying Rosie that he could defend for his life, but I think no pressure there. He knows that Smasher has got a championship to fight with, so that he's not challenged, so Smasher up into 3rd, and he's going to probably try and get past Matthew Reed as well. Clenzo and Peroni were having a little bit of a scrap there as well. Peroni right on the back. Martin was right on the back as well as Smasher gets past Matthew Reese, but we're watching the battle with Peroni and Clenzo. Peroni this time gets the job done, up into P7. See you later, as Hulkenberg would say, and he's doing a fantastic job so far. Had a good qualifying so far.
Rain!
Very quickly, actually. It just went like that. What?
Well, I'm going to say this now. I'm not a genius, but I might be.
Got to go fast and tired.
Thought you didn't give a safety car. It's in the pit lane. Oh my God.
That is. I think this has gone very well if you like Matthew Reese and Rossi as well, because I think it's gone better. It's gone better for those two than Jake, I think, because they're on the softer tyre. But obviously Jakey B is at the front. Meanwhile, Lot get past. This is technically full position. So Rosie can fight Rosie can fight how much he likes now. He doesn't have to go past each lot, let them pass. He can just fight. This is 4th position now. So we're not talking about nets now. Jakey B is your net race leader now. That's how.
Yeah, Jake is very. Jake. As I said, I swear I knew nothing about the weather.
I did not either.
Because I said in a thing, I fancy Jakey B.
You predicted as well.
There's 20 to go. He hasn't got a penalty. He has a 6.7 second lead. Whoa! And he almost threw it all the way to the wall.
Ooh, that
As
was
Lott picks up a time penalty.
We've seen him getting penalties which cost him the race win before this season. Could this be the one here today? And yeah, it was just nice and sunny like a few laps ago. And now it's turned all grey and rainy. This is probably the quickest it's ever turned to rain like this, I have to say, at the moment. But it's still not as damp as it was at the moment. Luckily, we don't get told the weather, so it's just a genuine surprise from all of us. As Sam is now going to fight Matthew Reese, which probably he was not expecting. But it doesn't look like Matthew Reese is fighting, or is he, though? Going side by side into turn 1 as well. He is fighting for it, actually.
He hit him.
He hit him as well. That's not good for Sam, who's fighting for consecutive podiums. Here he goes then, now chasing down Lott. And I think Matthew Reese has probably let him pass is a sorry for hitting him, which I think is what it is. Octez is now retired. We're now down
safety car!
Safety car! Ooh, that is a toughie.
Oh, you've got to come in. You've got to come in for intermediates now.
It may be too early, but
no,
it will get
it's
harder.
The transition.
It will get harder as the safety car comes in a few laps' time. So you'll be sliding, but you'll be going in slow safety car pace anyway. So yeah.
I had the same scenario come up. It was actually the opposite way around. We were going from intermediates to softs, and it just literally stopped raining as safety car came out. I was running 9th at the time. I came in, put on soft tyres. I won the race. It's one of those things. You can pull this off. You have to come into the pit lane during changeable conditions.
You have to.
If a safety car comes out, you have to come in. Whatever happens, because it can cost you a league race. Speaking of which,
Jakey
B almost cost his own life there. With a big loss of the back end. Smasher comes in, yeah.
They all have to come in now. If nobody goes in, they're going to be at a disadvantage. So Lott comes in. Sam everyone's going in. Just look at that train. But for some of these guys, they're going to be held up with their teammate pitting. So I think the likes of Ferrari, if you're Williams, McLaren, Racing Point or Red Bull, you don't have to worry because we've got 4 of those that retired. So you could just concentrate on your own and you won't get held up. Everybody else is going to be... Oh, no. No. Lott has done a boo-boo. He's done a bottle. He's on the medium.
Oh, my God. The thing that won him a title has just cost him a title.
Well, he still has 2 races.
Well, a title winning today, anyway. I'm never wishing somebody good luck in a message again.
I think he forgot to change his tyres.
Yeah, I genuinely think he did. Or he didn't get the option from Jeffrey.
It's easy though. Sometimes I forget to change it until I actually get into the pit lane. But you have to basically, if you know what the weather's going to do, get your change tyre sorted pretty much after you pitted for, like, say, the mediums or something. If you've already pitted, that's what I would do. And Lott has not done that.
Well, here's the kick in the teeth. They've now caught the safety car itself. The safety car as well will be in, very likely, next lap. So, as Brown picks up a penalty under safety car, well, he does that very often.
I have to say, Mercedes are not doing so well here.
Yeah, the crucial thing here for Lott is he can come down the pits now, and he might, it's a very strong might get in front of Daegu. If that's the case, he's still got a solid chance of finishing inside the top 10.
Here he goes.
I think.
Here he goes in.
Here he comes in now.
Let's see if he gets on the right tyres this time, please. Yes, I see green tyres.
If it puts him on wet.
I see green tyres. It's all good. It's all good. Panic over. Ah, jeez. Well, I was panicking there, but that's probably definitely costed luck. Maybe a chance of points, but there could be mistakes happening from other drivers, and we know how Lutt is good at climbing through the field, so we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, at least he's not the chasing driver in the championship. He's the leading driver of the championship, so if he gets a mistake here, then it doesn't matter. But if he doesn't get points and Smasher does, the gap's going to drop down to 16 points. As in, decreased by 16 points. That's what I'm trying to say.
So Rossi just picked up a time penalty there for a severe collision with Tyrrell Martin. Martin is the car behind him. I wonder if Martin just picked up one at the same time for that.
I think he did.
Yes, he did, yes. So, yeah, that's a problem for both drivers. Usually they tend to get removed, but we'll have to see what happens there between these.
I will have to check the stewards, I think, with communication if they do get it removed. And it was actually raised in stewards point 3, causing a collision during the formation lap. All safety car / VSC may be penalised. Make sure to leave enough space. That's all it's been said as well. But it's not been said anything about penalty removals. There may be something in the rules. The safety car is in this lap. Yeah. So JKB will be your leading car. Smash is also keen to get going. He's right behind him, look, as they head towards the final corner. But as soon as
whoa!
What's happened there? Jeez.
It's just Jake trying to put. It was So the way the sector line is around this track, the way the safety car it gets caught at a really dodgy place at this track, so it's really hard to get it going. Jake's trying to build tyre temperature up. His tyres, they do not look the warmest. Everybody's having a little bit of a weep. Down the outside goes Perondi on Matthew Rees up in a P4 immediately. And Perondi is going to excel in these conditions. The simple reason, controller.
Yes, I have to say that is, I think I can agree with you there as well, as Dave Rhombus also gets past Brown, or does he? As Brown tried to go to the right-hand side, it's going to be very difficult to see in these conditions as well. It's a very slippery track at the moment, so this is really separating the men from the boys, who is actually shining and who is not, as Alex Daegu is also in the fight as well. He gets past Dave Rhombus as well. So, unfortunately, Dave Rhombus missing out on not one, but 2 positions there. That's not what you want. He's just out of the points. He has no penalty, though. Lefted gets past Lutt. Lutt is definitely struggling in these conditions as well. He's not getting past the way that we would have thought. Dave Rhombus has got a 3-second time penalty as well to add to his list. Felipe all the way down in last position. A long way to go, of course, but he has no penalty, so that might make the difference later on in the race.
Yeah, penalties will come a big factor. The top 4 all without penalties. I tell you who looks the fastest out of the top 4? Vero Perondi.
Yes.
That AlphaTauri looks very, very strong right now. Whether he can make the move on Sam, we'll see in a second. He is gaining a little bit on the straight, has a little peep to the inside line. Unable to make any sort of move right now. Jake has already broke 1.2 seconds back to Smasher as Lutt gets past Lefted up into P11. I said he'll have a good chance if he can get back onto the back of these guys to finish inside the top 10. I'm going to say a P7 is what his realistic target must be here today, I'd say. It really depends on how quick Reese, Rossi and these guys are. Brown has a look to the inside of Cleanso, has to back out of it. Definitely gave it some thought there. We're saying his drive, but unable to convert into any sort of moves at the moment.
No, he hasn't. But Lutt will need to finish 5th with the fastest lap or higher in order to have his chance of winning the title. He's not there now, so I think it's definitely going to go to next week now. There's no doubt about it, unless pretty much Smasher makes a mistake, which I hope it doesn't, because we want this title to go down to the wire, really, to be honest, and it definitely will go down to the wire next week in Abu Dhabi, but it will make Smasher's life a bit difficult because he will need to probably have the resolve his life next week. But if he keeps up his performance like he's been doing the last few races, and he stands with a good shot, I have to say, as Perondi is still on the back of Sam. The traction he's gaining on. Oh, as soon as I said that, he slid into the final corner. But I think he must have got a little bit too much power, because it is a no assist tier, this Xbox tier, so they're not allowed to use any assist at all. And with no traction, I've experienced it around here in Mexico many times. It is hard, as left is left a session, which is not good.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there for Lefted. I shall try and invite him back, but not entirely useful for him.
Yeah, well, I'll let you invite him. And someone has asked me whatever happened to Lut. Unfortunately, Lut did a boober in the safety car and he pitted on the medium tyres instead of the inters, so he then had to pit again, so that's why he's down in 11th position. So hopefully that's asked your question. Meanwhile, Felipe has got past the AI bot of Lefted, so Felipe's not last anymore, and he's up into P13. Daegu is... I've got to say, Daegu has been impressing me in the wet so far. He's challenging these guys a lot and could get maybe get some points out of all of this. Maybe not, because he's on 12 seconds worth of penalties, whereas Lutz and Dave Bombers is on 3. And but Daegu and Brown don't have the most penalties. Flying Rosie has got the most so far on 14 seconds.
Yeah, so that'll be 3 normal penalties and then plus the 5 seconds for the collision with Martin. There is Daegu now picking up another one.
Yes. So that is up to 15 now, so he has the most.
Hey. Daegu just had to be special.
Yeah, so Daegu was like, Rosie's not having the most penalties, I can. Anyway, carry on.
Here's the thing about the rain that I don't particularly like on this game. It makes races like this. You really can't run within a second of people. If you can, you can't overtake. Because the dirty air completely takes hold and it effectively strangles the life out of the race. I've commentated on a couple of races now. It's just like, you have such a great first few laps, and then a rain hits, and you're like, yes, this could make things really exciting. Then you actually watch the race, you're like, what was that? And it usually is because the rain has taken a stronger hold, and you're there, and there's nothing to commentate over. And unfortunately, it seems like that seems to be the case for this race at the moment. The skill now isn't driving, it's penalty avoidance. Speaking of penalty avoidance, Daegu now picks up another 3-second time penalty to make it 18. At this rate, he's going to go down the WCD Pineda route and get disqualified.
Yes, and I wonder how many times it takes for someone to get disqualified after receiving multiple penalties. As he picks another 30 seconds around this track, okay? Now he's on 21, so he's got to be careful. He only needs to get 9 more before he gets one disqualified, and obviously you get right down into last place if you get disqualified, because obviously a DSQ is worse than a DNF. But yes, again, anything could happen in this race. It's Daegu and Brown going side by side into turn 1. Daegu doesn't care that he doesn't have that he has penalties at the moment. Brown doesn't care that he has penalties. They still want to fight to the death here. Alex Daegu goes to his right-hand side, to our left-hand side, but Brown is having none of that. You won't let me have P9 a moment ago. No, you're not going to have P9 now. Brown's now stays up into 9th. Daegu stayed in 10th position, but for how much longer? Look at Daegu, he's out of the ERS as well, but he's trying to save it in the rain. Brown has more ERS to play with, so that's what is helping Brown more, I think, at the moment, but Daegu is definitely not giving up without a fight.
Things you don't normally talk about in rain, ERS management.
Yes, and I was wondering why they were on like 1% or something, because you save a lot in the rain. So Daegu must be pushing a lot, and he's spun. So
he hasn't spun. He's just fallen off the track in the middle sector. Let's go through. It's not really the question, really, just how many penalty he picks up. To be honest, I think that's really going to be his
downfall.
Sort of rest of the race. Well, I think that's just going to be more the rest of his race. To be honest, it's just counting how many penalty he picks up. But we are about to head on now. Well, we have headed on now to 11 to go. In what has been a pretty half-sided Grand Prix. Jacob E seems to have pretty much divulged any sort of attack from Smasher. It's his go for Smasher's championship though, with lockdown in P10. That's a lot of points he's going to gain back on him, but good results going to be coming, I think, for Prondi as well. McCabe Sam at the moment is set to continue his big podium consistency as Daegu now goes into 24 seconds.
Oh, for goodness sake, Daegu. Stop picking up penalties.
In a second, I'm going to check and see if he's picked up a warning every single lap. I'm genuinely tempted to see if he has, because there's a
glitch that happens like that.
Let's have a look. See.
If he has.
Actually, no. So he's picked up a penalty the last 4 laps in a row. Daegu. But before that, he went a giant stretch where he didn't even get a single warning for 6 laps.
So I'm guessing he must have cut the corner badly, which gave him a straight 3-second time penalty. That's my guess, I think. Because you get surely you get warnings, or it might just be in the rain, you get a slam dunk penalty, but surely you get a warning first, because that's what's happened when I've been racing in these treacherous conditions around Mexico. As we're on lap 26, 11 laps to go of this race. Jakey B still leads, Smasher second, Sam third, Perondi in fourth, who can still get Sam actually, who will probably end Sam's charge of podiums, I have to say. Peroni has got no podiums this season as well, so and his best result was actually last time out in the USA, as well as a P4 in France too. And don't forget, France had a bit of wet weather involved as well, I believe, so he's liking his wet weather conditions, I have to say, as he's getting a better run there, but he just can't make the move stick, unfortunately. So but yeah, Peroni could be the favourite to snatch Sam's podium away by looks of things. Daegu hasn't picked up a penalty yet for this lap, so bravo to him.
Hey.
Woo! And there's Ben clapping the background, if you can hear that.
Yeah, there's a very nice sarcastic clap of approval. I got a minute.
Sam's got one.
Well, McCabe Sam.
That's his and Lot as well. And Daegu.
And Lot was...
and Daegu.
Now, Lot was going to benefit a lot before that 3-second time penalty. He actually was in a good position. The only person in front of him with only 3 seconds was Clenzo. At the moment, Clenzo is actually going to finish 5th in this race. I think it's a great result there for him. But Lot is still going to jump up into, I believe, I've got terrible maths, so please bear with me. I believe P6 or P7 at the moment. So that is a great result. That is a great result given the circumstances he's faced himself in by being an absolute muppet.
Yeah. Which I think is, I think he wouldn't accept P7 anyway, but he would probably take it on the chin and knows he could do better next time in Abu Dhabi. Because I know in Abu Dhabi it does not rain, so he's not going to worry about the wet weather next week. So he's got nothing to worry about that.
I don't know. This is 2020.
Yeah, it could throw out some surprises, but pretty much all the Abu Dhabi races I've commentated on this game, it hasn't rained, so our race on a matter of fact. 2020. Yeah, exactly. The unexpected could happen when you least expect it. So, yes. Yeah,
it's why you keep your expectations low, so you don't get disappointed when bad things happen.
Exactly.
I'm honestly, one of these days, I'm just going to get it tattooed on me. I use that saying way too often, as Martin now goes on to 11 seconds. Now Martin will likely have a 5 seconds route, so he'll actually only go on to 6, Rozzy will be on 9. So in actuality, Lot's only actually going to be probably in an okay position. That's now Brown on 18 seconds for a man who
Matthew's usually consistent,
quite often, but not really picking up warnings or penalties like that. That's 18 seconds from now. Degu's on 27.
Oh my god.
He's in the pit lane. Both Brown and Daegu pit.
I believe Daegu is going to serve his penalty, as well as Brown, I believe. No.
Well, they can't. Both onto fresh inters. I don't think they would have needed to stop. I doubt the intermediate wear would have been that
I thought they had a stop go. I thought they had the stop go. My bad. But they didn't.
No.
All right.
I know. Well, Brown had a 5-second time penalty anyway. No, it wasn't Brad. That was Martin and Rozzy.
Oh, that was why. That's why I got a bit confused. You see, and then I realised it's in multiples of 3, so it can't be the 5 second.
My brain is just trying to work out why those two pitted. I'm looking
at tyres. I'm looking at tyres.
They look fine.
I don't know, because most of these guys have been on for 9 laps. You could go on these for quite a bit longer than 9 laps, so maybe their tyres are just overheating. Maybe.
I'll be surprised if anything. It'll be too cold because that rain isn't exactly pleasant.
No.
I don't think it's going to get any wetter than this. It appears to be that this is its limit, but I just don't get why they need to pit. We'll see if it does anything. And Brown has just took an 8/10 out of Felipe, So it could be a pace thing, I suppose. Maybe the intermediates at this point, maybe there is a transition period for the intermediates, and fresh engines are just going to be suddenly 14 and a half seconds a decade faster. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we're not that long to go.
Yes, I'm aware it didn't make sense.
We're not that long to go until the end of the race now. Only 4 drivers yet to pick up a time penalty, which is impressive to say the least. 2 of them is our top 2 in the race, JKB and Smasher. One of which is Peroni, and one of them is Felipe down in 11th. So Felipe could still get some points, some decent points out of all of this as well. After the circumstances he faced in, as well as we're heading towards lap 30 pretty soon, as it's looking quite treacherous at the moment. And
Dago's been disqualified.
He's been disqualified. Oh no. Dago. And the max was right. It was 30 seconds.
I haven't seen a driver be disqualified from a league race in over a year. The last time I saw it, they haven't emerged back in the community since. The person who did it. I don't want this to be the death of Alex Dego in the community.
I don't either.
I'm imploring people to please take the mic.
Oh God! Don't take the mic out of him, please.
Well, we all love Dego, but sometimes it's nice to take humour in things that are quite funny. But things that aren't funny right now is a very serious battle between McCabe Sam and Biro Bronda. The AlphaTauri goes straight to the outside, nearly all the way through, gives it a punch, shoves off Sam's little cutback, a little bit of a block, forces him out to the exit curb, gets a much better exit, and Peroni is through up in a P3.
Absolutely fantastic. We know Peroni's pace is good in the wets, and he's just showing that at the moment. And I wonder if he's going to find the time to close in on Smasher, or will it be too little too late? It doesn't matter if he does that. And for Smasher, it doesn't matter if Peroni does that, because it won't affect his chances too much at this stage. So he's got a little less work to do on that regard at the moment. But I know Sam would want to not have a deficit too much, so he wants to get P3 on track at least back, but it's going to be a lot difficult now. Peroni's now within a second clear of Sam now, so it looks like Sam is struggling a little bit. Flying Rosie gets a time penalty. That pushes him up to 17 seconds. Brown's on 18, Sam's on 3, Reese is on 6, Mart's on 11, Cleanser and Luck are on 6, and Days Rombers is on 3. Everyone else have yet to get a time penalty to the board, including Lefted actually. I thought Lefted would get a time penalty, but he hasn't, so fair play to him.
A little bit cruel.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm a bit mean, but he's doing well, I have to say, and I don't think... Yeah, he should jump Brown, I think, at least, because Brown is on 18 seconds of penalties, and he's 8 seconds behind. So, yeah, he could jump... Yeah, he could get 12 here as well, but still the race is far from over. We've still got some more battles happening, which, to be honest, the penalties is going to decide the race from, I would say, third downwards.
Well, I have to say, when I saw a race now, it's like the top 3 are kind of set. It's just from there what happens. Well, what's happening at the moment is my head's currently on the verge of bursting. Because I'm trying to sit here doing maths, trying to work out what the actual order of this race is. I'm just going to say the order is yes, because I don't know. I've been trying to work it out. I think right now, whatever happens, I believe Felipe is going up into P5 from P11.
Wow.
Which is fairly insane.
That is
If I move the gap
insane.
onto the leader, I'll be able to work it out properly. So 11 to... Yeah, so at the moment, the gap's 5.1 seconds from Matthew Reese in P5 to Shizu Felipe, and Felipe is going to jump all the way up in P5.
Yeah, I've just noticed the gap as well, and I think the safety car may have helped with that earlier on as well. And we're just seeing also the stops as well. JKB only had to do 1 stop, so did Matthew Reese and Flying Rosie. Everybody else has done at least 2 stops. So, but I think, obviously, with the pit stops, they weren't predicting when the rain was going to come. We didn't even know the rain was going to come as well, so we thought it was going to be a 2-stop all the way through on the drives, but this has changed things massively so far as well. But, you know, we won't we won't tell you where everybody is until they come across the line, because that is when we will know for definite. The fastest lap is Sam at the moment, so because he probably will stay in the top 10, he will get that extra point, which will probably make the difference of him climbing up the order in the championship. Gap between Peroni and Smasher has decreased a bit. It was 2.8 a moment ago. Now it's 2.2. So I have to say, drive the day so far, it's definitely got to be Peroni. He's been on fire at the moment.
Peroni to win this race? Question mark.
It is still possible. It's still possible if he keeps it up. You know, Jakey and Smash have been on those tyres for quite a bit. They may be starting to struggle. Peroni's been on tyres, well, they've pretty much been on the same tyres, but I know that Peroni's usually better on tyre management anyway. You can see them almost on the same camera shot. You know, let us know in chat. Do you think Peroni could pull off dreams to get his first podium, but turn that into a first win? That would just be insane, to tell you the truth. I mean, the first time we've seen that of a shock is Pierre Gasly's winning Monza in real life, and he was in an AlphaTauri, in fact.
Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to. Maybe that was more trying to draw up storyline than an actual expectation. But I don't want to say it in a bad way, but I almost feel like it's not possible as Brown retires.
Pit lane.
Well, in the pit lane.
Yes, he's given up. Which I understand. He got a lot of penalties. He would have been near last anyway.
He clearly wasn't a very happy man, and now he's a less happy man.
Yes, he can now do what he wants. He can now do what he wants. Simple as. And he may still be in a party there with his teammate, helping him out as well.
What he can do is just go make memes on Twitter.
Indeed, and Luck could. So obviously, Luck I think will be P7. I think out of all of this because he's got less penalties compared to Martin and Rosie. Sam I think will stay P4. Yep, he will stay P4, I believe. Unless my maths is completely wrong. But we'll see with 3 more laps to go.
Sam will easily stay P4 at the moment.
Yep, so that's fine. So I think as long as he can keep up to Peroni, then he should be fine. But the gap now, Smash is actually gaining on Jakey B. That is interesting. Has Jakey B gone off? No, he hasn't. So it might be that he's struggling on his tyre wear.
Well, I think it's only been a couple of tenths. I'll double check to see what the actual gain has been. I know it has been that he's slowly gained on it, but it hasn't been very much.
No.
27.5 on the last lap for Jake. 27.7. Actually, Jake pulled away on the last lap.
Oh, okay.
It was just that Smasher bagged a 26.8 out of nowhere compared to Jake's very consistent 27. So
that's probably why then.
Yeah, it was just one lap where. Well, he's just took 7 tenths out of him while I've been talking.
It's looking like Smash is on a good lap.
Yeah, I think Smasher's just gone.
He's been saving.
I would use one normal phrase here, but I'm not going to use that. He's doing something of which is a saying of which happens. Well, it might also be due to the fact that Jake's lost half a second in the middle sector.
Yeah, that's probably why. So Jakey B has got to gain if he wants any chance of winning this race. It was very comfortably on Smasher if it was without the rain dropping on us sooner than we thought. But because of that rain, it's we thought the Jakey B is going to win it. But it's now turned into a 2-horse fight for the win. And if Smasher wins this, it's going to make the gap between himself and Lutz close in a little bit more, which will make the championship fight even more interesting. Smasher could be on course, be getting another podium, or pretty much his 4th podium in a row.
That's really good, to be honest. Great consistency there from the man this season. Great pace as well, of course, of the season. I tell you what gives Jake the advantage, though. Look at the ears.
Yes. How's he not using that much? He's just saving, I think, for the final lap. I'm almost certain of it. And I know Smash is pushing.
I think what he's trying to do is almost like a psychological thing. He's letting Smasher get right up to the back of him so he can absolutely dump it on the last lap, which, you know what, isn't even a bad shout, to be fair, as a way of approaching the race. But final corner now, we're going to start the final lap of this, I almost said Russian, Mexican Grand Prix.
Well, Russia was a few weeks ago, so I can understand why you were saying Russia, and you never know what could happen. We got Martin as well, fighting over with Flying Rossi. I think it just went off all of a sudden.
Rossi's got a puncher. Rossi has a puncher.
Oh, that's why.
Left.
Oh,
I wonder.
spun.
Rossi's up in the wall hard. I think that might explain why Brown came into the pit lane. You know what you were saying, Jess, about tyres? I'm looking at go on board with Jake right now and look at his front tyre. Look at his front right specifically.
Is it puncher?
They're gone. No, he hasn't got. What is he a puncher on your screen?
I thought it looked like a puncher. It looked like the tyre was about to go.
It's not a puncher. It's just excruciatingly worn. The rear tyres, especially on all of these cars, I'm looking back on them all. They're absolutely finished.
And the crucial thing
Rossi is the unfortunate man here with the puncher. I think, well, I hope anyway these guys can get back round. They've only got half a lap to go, but we don't know.
Well, to be honest, according to our data, the Inter's only meant to last 17 laps. So this is at their 4 at the moment, but Jakey B has, I think, just about done enough as Sam has lost a huge chunk of time as Jakey B comes across the line and he wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Smasher takes second. Peroni is going to come across the line and he's slowing down just a little bit, but that's not going to hurt him. He gets his first podium in PSGL.
Oh! Sam blew a tyre on the line.
Oh, he just had a bunch on the line. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
as I thought,
if it was
Felipe
one
will get
lap,
five.
if it went on for one extra lap, Sam would have lost to fourth place. That was close. And
I think if there'd been one extra lap, these guys would have had to pit. Seriously.
Luck only managed 9th as well.
9th, I think, is going to get turned into 10th.
Yes. We'll look at the standings as well, but another consistent podium score for Smasher. More crucially, another race where he's beaten his championship rival. So a big well done to him.
Certainly so. Well,
I'm still shocked with what's happened, to be honest.
It was quite exhausting in a way. It seemed quite. There was that good 10 lap stretch where just nothing happened.
And then
from lap 23 to lap 33, and then everybody's tyres decided to go. Nah, I don't want to exist anymore.
And then decided to die. But anyway, let's look at your results. So you got Jakey B from Smasher, from Peroni, Sam, Felipe, like we said, because he picked up 0 penalties. He dropped down to he's up to 5th. Sam picks up the extra point for fastest lap. Matthew Reese in 6th, Dave Rombus 7th, Clenzo in 8th. I have to say, massive shout out to Rombus as well for one of his best performances of the season. Lutt in 9th. Martin gets his first point as a reserve, so well done to him as well. But I know you would have wanted better, but it's a pretty good job for the Haas driver. Then we got Lefted, Rosie being your final finishes, and then we got Brown, Octed's Got to Go Fast, Dark Killer, Crescito, and Alex Dagu being your retirements, with Alex Dagu being disqualified due to getting 30 seconds of penalties. And that's free 10 lots of 3 seconds. That's what it took.
Yeah. I actually received a message from Dagu, and all it said was absolutely inspiring. That's all it said.
I think he didn't mind getting disqualified, to be honest.
Oh, no, so either he sees the humour in it, or it was for just absolute memes. I don't. When it comes to Dago, I'm never 100% sure.
Yes, I'm not sure as well. But enough about that. We are going to try and see if we can get someone in for interview. We've got one person waiting in, and that is our one of our championship rivals. Hopefully, we could get Jakey B in as well. But we will get Smash It in, and whilst I change to the interview screen, yes, we've just done that. So there we go. As we'll bring Smasher in. You got P2 there in the race there. Were you expecting the rain to come as soon as you did there?
Yeah, well, started off with qualifying. Just about doing enough for pole. Wasn't a worldy lap, but yeah, just about enough for pole. And then start of the race went pretty much perfect. Only picked up one warning, and yeah, controlling the race. And then obviously the rain come maybe 4 laps later without the safety car. I felt the amount of catching Jake, and especially run hards in them wet conditions, I probably could have overtook him before we went on to Winters. But then, as soon as the safety car came in, I just thought, look, he's further down. I may as well think about the championship and just save the tyres, make sure I don't get a puncture. And if Jake gets a puncture at the end, then I can capitalise on that. But my main aim was just to pick up the 12 points and then, yeah, go on to next week.
Yeah, and because of you finishing ahead of Lutz, and your championship fight still goes on into next week in Abu Dhabi as well. How hard was it to keep pretty much penalty free for the whole race? Because you got one warning. It's one of the hardest tracks to pretty much not get a penalty.
Yeah, well, it helped that I wasn't really pushing at all the whole race. If I started to push, then I would have probably picked up more warnings and penalties. But because I was pretty much cruising before we made the first pit stop onto mediums, and then after that I had a big gap, so I wasn't really pushing then. And obviously on the inters, I was just making sure the tyres stayed alive until the end. So luckily I didn't have to push, so that meant that I didn't have to push the track limits as much.
Very, very good as well. So it was a pretty much quiet from then on until the final lap, I have to say, which was quite tense. But final 2 rounds of the season, obviously we got Abu Dhabi and Japan. Even though it's going to be realistically quite hard for you to take the title, do you think you could maybe sneak a win or 2 more wins in there?
Yeah, well, I'll keep pushing until the last lap in Japan. If I don't win, then I don't mind. But if I drive like I did today, then there's nothing I can be annoyed about. It's not what I've been doing recently. It's the start of the season which cost me, well, not really the start, the middle of the season where I literally scored 0 points. So I'll just keep going for wins and, yeah, try to put more pressure on luck. But it's pretty much, if I wanted to win the championship, I needed to score more points in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but you're showing your consistent form, I think, pretty much since Russia, your 4th podium in a row as well. And tell us how well, to be honest, your form pretty much carried on again from Russia. How were you able to carry on that form from Russia to now? Because it must have been pretty difficult.
Yeah, probably having less pressure on helped, because obviously after Russia, I was like something the championship about 50 points behind lot. So I just thought, I might as well just send it. And if I crash, I crash. I'm not going to lose anything. So yeah, since Russia, I just haven't really had any pressure on. It's been showing in the results.
Okay, so best of luck for the final 2 rounds, and let's see if you can close the gap on luck there. So massive congratulations on your P2.
Yeah, cheers.
Right then, so we're about to wrap up the stream. Any final thoughts, Ben, before we close the stream for tonight?
I think just for me, today's race was a showing in just how interesting the F1 game can be. What appeared to be a very straightforward Grand Prix for the man who eventually finished second today, CRG Smasher, turned completely on its head, and it's great to sometimes not know the weather going into things. Usually, I tend to know the weather going into stuff. It was great today to have that on a different scenario, and I think that was proven by what was a brilliant race today.
Yeah, I think it was. I think there was some races which were not that interesting this season. This was definitely a very interesting race, so bravo to all the drivers. And if you want more Mexican Grand Prix action, you've obviously got the more of the PS4 tiers on Sunday and Monday, and there was a few tiers on tonight if you want to check those out. And there was also the PC tier around Belgium if you want to check that out. That was on earlier on as well. I've been Jess Games 95 and Ben's been Ben, and we will see you same time next week, 8 PM UK time, for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Have a good evening. Goodbye.